Welcome back, and joining us now on the show is Mr. Prakash Naiknavare. Mr. Navare, hi, Happy New Year to you and many thanks for joining us. How are you looking at the latest numbers in sense of sugar production? I mean, this has been a conversation for last 2 or 3 or 4 months now, and the latest numbers do suggest that the sugar output until 31st of December is down by 7.6% year-on-year basis. Is that a big concern? Do you think it can be made up? There is still some more time as the crushing continues.
Well, first of all, Happy New Year to Manisha, you and your entire team. It has always been a pleasure throughout the last year, and we hope the same to continue next year. Okay, coming to the numbers, actually, the percentage that you mentioned is right, 7.68%, but then it's not an area of concern. In fact, it's an area of relief for us. I'll explain you how it is. Initially, the Government of India had estimated sugar production of about 29 million tons. And what we are seeing, there is a spurt in the production of, steady increase. I wouldn't say spurt. There's a steady increase in Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Karnataka, which put together they contribute almost 80%. And this is mainly because of two reasons. One, the retreat rains in parts of Maharashtra and Karnataka have helped gain recovery and the weight, the standing cane. So the ground report that we are getting from these two states are encouraging. Just to give an example of Karnataka alone, who had anticipated just 3.5 million tons, is now estimating to produce about 4.2 million tons. Maharashtra also going from 8.5 to about 9 million tons. And UP always has been steadily giving positive signals. So we anticipate UP will be, instead of 11 million tons, 11.5 million tons they will produce. So put together these three states, I take a number of 24.7 million tons out of 30.5 that I have estimated at the end of the season, which is in fact a good news for us, because with these numbers we are planning to approach the Government of India for a request for the second tranche of the ethanol. There is quite a disheartened and depression in the ethanol sector. So which perhaps would be helped to some extent by these numbers.
So as of now, what we understand is what is allocated is 1.7 million tons of sugar for ethanol. How higher can this number go?
Well, I would say out of this 1.5 million tons, which is come handy, if it reaches to about 2 million tons more, that entire 2 million tons could be perhaps taken away for ethanol. Why not? Because then we could perhaps, if not the entire 2 million tons, even a million ton will make a difference from 1.7 to 2.7. Will be a huge relief for the ethanol producers.
Absolutely. You mentioned about UP, and the other thing that I was reading in sense of reports is that SAP, we completely, forgot talking about that, but that is still not come in, and there are reports on how some cane could be going for jaggery and for the cottage sugar as well. Do you see those concerns?
Well, I think, Manisha, this has been there traditionally. There is nothing new in this. The percentage-wise, almost 40-45% of the cane grown in Uttar Pradesh goes for non-sugar. Kansari and gourd and seed and other feed, cattle feed and all that. So we have already computed that into our estimation. And that will not affect net sugar production.
And the SAP, is that a concern right now, or do you think the work goes on?
Well, SAP is something which is very politically driven. So lesser I speak about it better, because it has been delayed, no doubt about it. But we don't know what's going on in the minds of government there. And we strongly believe that the FRP is the cane price, which should be uniformly applicable to the entire country, including Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, and the other states, where SAP is ruled.
Mr. Naiknavare, I also quickly want to touch upon the prices here, because internationally we've seen a very sharp correction in the month of December itself, where we saw the 27 cents of a high come down to almost 21 cents. For the Indian markets as well, there has been a correction on the weaker side in case of sugar. But what's your sense on prices globally and for India now?
Well, globally, again, it's not a surprise to me personally, Manisha, because I was expecting this correction to come. In the first place, the prices had spiked, was a swelling. It was a temporary swelling, which I always use this word. The correct price was 23 cents per pound, which is almost touching, which is in fact slightly gone below that because of the reasons happening in the Brazil. But fundamentally, I see Thailand going down, India going down, India in fact absent from the international global market. So these factors would contribute, and I would see that the global prices would remain around 22.5 to 23 cents per pound in the near future. So far as domestic prices are concerned, I think now everybody's come to a conclusion that price. I mean, again, we have S30, M30, and we have different grades. But I'm just averaging it out. Say about 36 rupees a kg X mill without GST is something which we could expect this to remain there in the near future.
Point taken. Mr. Naiknavare, as always, thank you so much for joining us. A bright point really that the ethanol diversion could really go up from current 1.7 to 2.7 is something that would clearly cheer the sugar stocks there going forward. Thank you so much for your time. But with that, it's a wrap on Halftime Report. Business Lunch will take all the action forward.